In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to change your life in the next 6 months. And quite frankly, it's not that hard. It's just everybody out there and their mother loves to make this entire process complicated. And it's not. Okay, you don't have to go and start this new crazy fancy, AI automation agency. No, you just have to dial in. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it the smart way, where you don't have to, necessarily kill yourself, and you just have this clear 3-step plan that you can implement tomorrow, and you will already see a difference. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. And I have my trusty old whiteboard here. So, if I end up taking a little bit of a second just trying to draw a visualization that I have in my head, then that's completely fine. Okay, don't get mad at me. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am going to start with number 1 here. Okay, and that is to create a crystal clear vision. Okay, so why is this important? You might think I am like absolutely crazy for even saying this, because this isn't the actual thing. It's not the tangible business model, but I'll tell you why it's important. This is important because you need direction. Okay, you need somewhere to go, and if you don't have clear vision on what you're even trying to aim for, then it is hard to ever create a path towards that destination. I'll literally make a bit of a drawing here actually. This is a road, okay, and you can just imagine this is the craziest 3D road you've ever seen. What ends up happening if you don't have crystal clear vision is you have these clouds in the way, and you essentially have a couple of different directions to actually decide to go down, and only one of them is actually correct when these are mistakes. You don't want to take those paths, but you don't know if you should turn left or you should turn right, or you should just continue going straight if you don't actually have your blinders on, or your whatever it is that you call them, right? Your fog lights. That's what I'm trying to even say here. If you don't have your fog lights on, you're not going to know that I actually tricked the audience and this is actually the right path. I'm just making a point here, but you guys understand what it is that I'm trying to see here. So how do you actually do this? How do you create direction? I'm going to show you by drawing a really cool picture here. So the way you do it is, I want you, as cringe as it might seem, is I want you to build a bit of an Instagram carousel, and you can do this on Canva. I don't care how you do it, just do it, okay? But what this has to entail is every single little thing about what you want your life to look like. This needs to be a vision board. And again, you might think this is extremely cringe. You might think like, okay, I'm clicking off of this video, this is not gonna work. But trust me when I say, guys, this works. And honestly, I wish I would have pulled up my own vision board, and I have it hanging up over there, but I am aiming for specific things myself. Like, I want to move into an apartment that has these really cool high-rise windows, right? I want to eventually maybe dabble into the Porsche game, just like different vehicles. I'm not sure, because those are golden handcuffs, as they call them. But nonetheless, I want you to find pictures that represent what your life looks like in the next 6 months, as crystal clear as you can find the exact watch that it is that you want, the exact office setup, the exact mouse, right? Like I'm using this mouse right here. If you want that mouse, then put it on there, okay? But it has to be very, very accurate, and you cannot change it for the next 6 months. After that, what I want you to do is I want you to write out what is called a manifesto. And of course, use this in a good way, guys. Like, I know there's like weird type of manifestos out there, and especially in today's like news or whatever, but what I want you to do is I just want you to make like a full page if you have to. Okay, write it out as if it's a high school project or a college essay that you were writing, and I want you to define what your life looks like in the next 6 months. Where are you waking up? Are you waking up where you're currently at right now, or are you waking up in some Airbnb in Bali? Okay, do you go to MMA practice right after, or are you going for a run in Central Park? Doesn't matter, but I want you to get as specific as it comes. I'm not even kidding. Like, I want you to write the time that you wake up. I want you to talk about the skincare routine that you use. And I know that might be a little bit cringe, like, yeah, no, you don't have to do all that. But if that's important to you, by the way, like if skincare is super important to you, then write it. What kinds of products do you want to use? Okay. Are you having a luxury like breakfast, or Are you having a very simple breakfast? Are you going to MMA after with a private coach? Or are you running on the beach? Right? A couple of different things that you can put there, but what this is going to look like is it's probably going to look like this piece of paper, and it is going to be filled with specific details on what your life is going to look like. And this is all step number 1, guys. Do this exact thing. I'm not even kidding. It gets freaky. I'll tell you a bit of a story. Like, I'm still working on my 6-month transformation, right? I'm still working on it because I made one about, a couple months ago, not that long ago. So I'm still working on the stuff, okay? And I'm not going to share it in this video because I don't want you to get distracted with my personal things. I want you to curate it to whatever it is that you need to have happen in your life. But I'll tell you a story about what one of my mentors had showed me. And he basically showed us the exact vision board that got him started in the online industry. And this was credit to like Sam Ovens. I think he was taking a Sam Ovens program. And if you guys don't know who that is, then that sucks for you, because Sam Ovens he's a G, okay? So basically what he ends up showing us is just a bunch of different things that he had on that board, like the exact apartment building that he wanted to be in, the car that he eventually, decided to cash out on, which is a Lamborghini Urus, and, a watch, and, his gun collection, the type of, partner that he wanted in his life. And it was crazy, guys. And yeah, you're really just going to have to, kind of trust me. And if you guys have ever seen this meme, then this is probably going to relate to you, okay? But just do it. Just trust me in this case. Like, what do you have to lose, okay? This is really good exercise. And quite frankly, if you have this in front of you every single day, it's very hard not to do the things that are required of you to get to the point that you're trying to be. Now, I obviously want to make sure that you are, I don't want to say, realistic, because I don't really like that word, but you are within the means of what you think you can actually accomplish. Now, again, that's probably going to be a little bit of a cheat code as well, is you are capable of achieving whatever it is that you think of. Like, quite literally, you are your own enemy. So if you're thinking small, I'd probably look into fixing that. Now, moving on to the second point, the second thing that you have to do here, and I'm going to delete all of this. So if you didn't get it, just reverse the video and you'll be fine. Okay, number 2. What is number 2? This kind of stems off of number 1, honestly, but become the person who is worthy of your goals. So I kind of want to draw a bit of a comparison here, right? This is probably you, and I've actually drawn this before, funny enough. This is probably you right now, okay? You're probably worth very little money, if zero at that. That's completely fine. We all start there, okay? Everybody starts somewhere, okay? And where you're trying to get to is to the point where you're essentially throwing money in the air and you're having a ball doing it. Now, the difference between both of these individuals is going to be the thing that I'm talking about here, is in order for you not to have $0 in your bank account, you need to become this guy. And what this guy does is actually really important, because you need to start doing the things that he does. Okay, so you really have to start asking yourself, does this individual work out? Is he really big on his faith? Does he prioritize his relationships? Does he save most of his money, right? Does he save money? Does he think a lot? Does he plan ahead? Is he very organized? And chances are, for the most part, if you look into every single one of these particular things, this guy is probably not doing any of it, and he deserves to get dismantled, and that's completely okay, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to step into this new character, and that is what you need to do. You have to become worthy of attracting certain outcomes. So I'll give you an example. If you want to make 10K a month, what does 10K a month you do? What does he do on a daily basis? Is he scrolling on Instagram for half of the day? Right? Is he just liking a bunch of pictures and videos of girls that are never going to know of him or see of him? Or is he focusing his attention on reading? Is he learning something new every single day? Is he hyper fixating on learning a skill set like appointment setting or sales or copywriting or video editing, whatever that might be? But does most of his attention go to that? If he is working a 9 to 5, then how would this individual here handle working a 9 to 5 and also moving forward to his income goals? Well, chances are he's probably going to have to sacrifice his friendships a little bit, right? He's probably not going to be able to go out with the boys every single weekend, and that's completely fine. It's just a short-term sacrifice that has to happen. And it's all of these identifying characteristics of this individual that is going to make all the difference. That is what is going to change you within a 6-month period. Okay, you have to do that work. You have to act as if. All right, now finally, moving on to the last thing we have here is going to be to take action. Don't look back. There is a funny thing that I did to get into the spot that I'm in, and quite frankly, I don't advise it to everybody, but I'm going to tell you because this is what happened. I'm not lying. There's no reason for me to even fixate this, okay? But I don't recommend it. This is just what I did, okay? I had about $12,000 that I had saved up, and this all stemmed from 9 to 5. Oh, not 9 to 5, 9 to 5. 9 to 5 that I absolutely hated, okay? I hated it, and it was hard. It sucked, but the way I got to this point is we saved all of our money, okay? So we didn't really spend it on dumb stuff, but we just saved it. And when push came to shove, well, we had to make a bit of a big decision to just quit cold turkey. Okay, it wasn't the smartest thing, and again, I don't recommend doing this, but this is just what I did. And the reason why I'm even telling you this story is because what I did when I did this is I took action. I gave myself no other choice but to figure out, how am I going to make a living? Because I have $12,000, and I'll give you some context here. Is the first day, it was fine, right? This was my reaction. I was like, okay, I'm okay, right? And then as my bank account went lower and lower, well, my attitude started to change, and I started to get like this, right? This was my reaction when seeing my account. Let me delete this here. That was my reaction. And as it went lower and lower, because I had no income coming in anymore, I started to freak out a little bit, right? Something had to change, and that's me yelling if you guys haven't picked up on that. But what ended up happening at this point is what completely changed the trajectory of my entire life, as I started spiraling in different directions, and ultimately I came to a conclusion that I needed to do one specific thing, and that one specific thing, guess what, helped me get to this point again, where I was like, okay, cool, we've made some money, and then we kept growing, got a little happier, right? Made 11K. Whoops, that's not 11. 11K in commissions. And we started to make it rain. And this was also a mistake, but that's, a topic for another video. But that is what happened. That is exactly my point here, is you need to take action, ladies and gentlemen. If you do all of this, if you create a crystal clear vision, you become the person worthy of achieving these crazy goals that you set out for yourself, and you don't do anything about it, nothing ever happens, and you just keep going in this endless loop of dopamine rising because you say you're going to take action, you never actually do anything about it. Guess what? You're going to stay stuck exactly where you are. Let me know what you guys thought, and hopefully you guys end up taking this advice to the heart and you guys actually do something about your situation. Hope to see you guys on the other side.